live now?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. There's already 17 people waiting to watch before we even started, so thank you so much. Apologies for being a little bit late to start. We have the wonderful help of our patron, Sam Ecclestone, who is doing a lot of fantastic tech stuff with us, which makes this look all so much better, but we just needed to get our heads around it, so that delayed a little bit. I'm gonna mute the sound on YouTube so I'm just not hearing myself talk, because that is really disconcerting. Right. Who have we got? Hello, and please make yourself known. Oh, hello, I can see my face. Yay! Your host, Jonny Collins. That happened 20 seconds ago. So this is going to be really out of sync for anyone watching. The background music's very loud. Do we have background music? Is it what? Oh, there we are. Okay. I'm not sure what that was. Hello, Jonathan Moore. Thank you for joining us. And who else have we got? Please make yourselves known, or don't. You don't have to, but it just gives me more stuff to talk about.
I love how so much in the preamble is just us politely greeting our friends.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Hello,
welcome to this topical hard show. Oh, hello, mate. How are you?
Richard Moore says Blizzard, woo, which is oh yeah, Sam. Oh wait, you can't talk. Never mind. I was gonna ask what happened to our theme song, but never mind about that. Now we can have that ready for next show. Or was that the background music that was playing that I didn't hear? I don't know. Shall find out. I'm really loving how this is looking. This is looking so much better than our last one. It's great. Hello, Natalie Bartle. Thank you for joining us. Oh, fuck off, Scarlett.
What did Scarlett do? I didn't see.
She just said sup nerds. That's all she said.
Oh. That was me thinking she's coming in being all rude.
Oh, well, she is. Oh, wonderful.
We are nerds, Jonny.
Yeah, but I don't appreciate being told so by a Blades. Richard Moore says, "Wait, is that Mr. Blobby?" I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'll be honest. I don't. No, that's Thom Bee. He was in the last live stream.
Cool.
Riley, thank you for joining us. Ed, do you live with Riley? Don't you?
Yes.
So Riley is literally in the same house.
I can say hi here, and then I can go to the door and shout.
Yeah. If you do that. I was so nice to everyone else, Scarlett. That is true.
I've just realised that
I have no further comment on that. Hi, Joe Rogers.
Hey, Joe Rogers. I've just realised that live stream comedy is like the closest to smoking on stage I'm ever gonna get, and I feel like I need to like drop some hard truths, like brownies aren't that good.
What are your opinions on brownies? People in the comments below, do you agree with Tom's hot take? Can you handle the truth?
Nothing but spicy hot take from famous edgy comedian Thom Bee.
There we are. Ben McNally, hello, nice to be. That's a name I don't recognize. Fantastic. I'm enjoying 24 watching. Fucking hell. And who else have we got? Sam. Hello, Sam. We already knew you were there, but thank you for making yourself known in the comments. I'll give it a few more minutes for people to arrive, and then we'll get started. Vicky Styles, hello.
Oh, I love
Yay,
her.
friends. We are all your friends. Has everyone here met Vicky Styles? If you haven't, you're our friends now.
Hello, friend.
Yeah. Right. We've already got 8 likes. Fucking hell. We've been streaming for 4 minutes and nothing's happened. You're not really easy to impress.
I fucking love the Blizzard audience. It's just like, all right, yeah, just trying to do this. I'm just trying to politely say hello. If you want to write some filth about us, feel free. And then you're just like, yes.
Yeah, which is which Kirstie asked me to remind you earlier as well. Well, not remind you, tell you that if you do want to do some lewd sketches of us while during this live stream, please feel free to do that and send them in. Maybe the best one will get a prize, maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll work that out when it comes to it. Also, this is like our regular gigs, there's a pay what you want gig. So obviously we don't charge anyone to watch the live stream, partly because that goes against the reforce, but mostly because I haven't got a fucking clue how you would feasibly do that. But if you would like to donate and support, we're going to be doing a bucket split with everyone getting equal pay from this, as well as a cut of our Patreon money. So if you're already a Patreon subscriber, you don't have to donate anymore, but please feel free to. Kirstie, have we got the Patreon link in the comments?
Yes, we have the Patreon link, we have the PayPal link, we have links to where you can follow all of our guests today, and also our fantastic producer for today as well.
Wonderful. On 11 likes now. Who else have we got? We have Bridget's here. I love you, Bridget. I miss you. Kev Bliss, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. And Tom Osborne. Tom, I noticed that you...
Sorry, I'm just seeing Ed's picture.
What's wrong with Ed's picture?
That is... Look, all right, I've got bad knees today, so I'm doing the stream lying down. Please.
Tom, Jasmine says, on a random note, when you get a chance, watch The Last Ride. I don't know what that's about, but
okay.
When you get a chance, do that. Hello. Yeah, Tom, I was going to say, I'm very honoured that you put my Douglas Adams quote in your Twitter. I really appreciate how much you appreciate that quote.
He did that immediately. Like, he didn't wait for the stream to end. He did it as soon as you said it.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
And then he messaged me to tell me he'd done it.
Perfect. So what I was saying before, if you want to donate, the PayPal link is in the description, as well as our Patreon link if you're not already a Patreon subscriber and would like to be. We've also got all the social media and various basically all the acts are on the stream today. We've got all of their social medias and other web things for you to check out. So if you particularly like anyone who you are seeing today, which you should, they're all marvelous, please go and check out what they're doing. Right, we have 28 watching. I think we are ready to start. Right. So, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the first episode of Blizzard Comedy's broadcast Avalanche, the show that puts the in satirical live stream. In the news this month... in the news this month, government begins to ease lockdown by changing guidelines from stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives, to stay at home unless it's a detriment to the economy, protect the NHS by making healthcare workers pay extra for its services, and save lives, ? Dominic Cummings has been flouting lockdown rules so much that he has changed his name from Dominic Cum-ins to Dominic Entitled Bastard with no regard for public health. Piers Morgan has banned cabinet ministers from appearing on Good Morning Britain if they publicly supported Cummings breaching lockdown in a feud where there are no winners yet everyone wins, like Alien versus Predator or Fred Durst versus Eminem. That's as up to date as my pop culture references are getting. Strap in. Morgan also pledged to break lockdown rules and drive to see his parents if Mr. Cummings is not sacked from his position, which means the only people who want to see Cummings sacked more than Piers Morgan are, in fact, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan. There has been wide debate about whether schools should reopen next week, and to be fair, it's not a black and white issue. You know, do I believe the government who says schools should reopen, or do I believe the teachers, students, parents, scientists, healthcare workers, unions, and underage drug pushers who say that the schools should remain shut? Some student landlords are trying to sue ex-students for rent arrears occurred during the pandemic whilst their studies were disrupted, and in many cases homes vacated. Some have argued that this is immoral and charges should be at least discounted if not completely waived. But then in defense of landlords, leeches are notoriously incapable of feeling empathy. Matt, thank you, Tom. Matt Hancock and many others have begun wearing rainbows to show solidarity for the NHS, which is a bit like George Zimmerman wearing a Black Lives Matter badge, or Hitler wearing a Dead Kennedy's Nazi punks fuck off shirt, or Margaret Thatcher waving a pride flag. Joe Biden apologized this month for suggesting that anyone not voting for him or unsure who they'll be voting for in the presidential election, in his words, ain't black, implying that African Americans shouldn't be struggling to choose between whether to vote for an old white racist with allegations of sexual assault or an old white racist with allegations of sexual assault in a blue suit. That's a beautiful laugh, Tom. Thanks. Despite defending it countless times, Boris Johnson reverses his decision on the NHS surcharge for migrant health workers, and the U-turn so sharp it may as well have been a V. Personally, I don't think that the U-turn goes far enough. I think Boris should scrap the NHS surcharge altogether, sacrifice his salary for the good of the NHS in exchange for a weekly sarcastic round of applause to humiliate him as he slowly dies of poverty-stricken starvation. And finally, Lord Sugar claims that a higher tax rate for rich people won't help the economic recovery post-COVID, and austerity is inevitable. I agree. Why tax the rich when you can eat them instead, leaving not only more wealth to redistribute, but also allowing the working class to save money on food costs? And on that note, let's introduce the teams. So we are joined today by team captains Kirstie Summers and Thom Bee.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey, hello, and who else is here? Oh yes, and on Kirstie's team we have Kath Marvelley, who are together known as Team #Cumgate. I did not come up with these team names. I take no responsibility for them. And on Thom's team we have Ed Roworth, who are Team Cum Sack. I have to think about it every time.
Cum sack.
Cum sack, spelt with a K, if anyone would like to know.
At the end, not on the cum.
Yeah. So wonderful. Kath, how are you doing today?
I am great. Fantastic. I noticed someone wrote in the comments, is Mr. Blobby there? Yes, Mr. Blobby is there, making a guest appearance. You have to watch the Twitter feed from our last week warm-up, so get on that. And, we're going to pay him all of the money, or her. I'm actually not sure of what Mr. Blobby is. They.
I'm not sure. That's the point.
Mr.
Yeah, now that we're showing Mr. Blobby, do we owe him royalties for this? That's going to be an issue.
I'll take that off.
Not like the creator of Mr. Blobby, just Mr. Blobby as a concept. We owe him all that money. How have you been keeping occupied during lockdown, Kath? You've been up to anything exciting? Any projects?
No. I've been inside. I've been writing a book, catching up with improv peeps, still for Improv on Demand.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, tell us more about Improv on Demand. I remember you sent me a load of stuff to plug, and I have now lost that message, so I'm just going to ask you again.
Well, the Mr. Blobby's originally from them, but then it came up in our one, so I feel like it's a constant Zoom theme. You should have Mr. Blobby as a background.
Absolutely fantastic. Kirstie, how are you doing?
Not bad. I moved house this weekend. I didn't want to, but I'm also glad that is over and out of the way. But it has meant that even though I knew this was coming for a long time, and in fact it was my job to tell people this was happening, I've not really thought much about it or paid much attention to the news all week because I've been stressing about like being evicted and having somewhere to live and then haggling with a landlord and then hastily moving all of my stuff and my housemate's stuff to a new flat in the space of a week. And then we had these trolleys that we borrowed off my uncle, and we left them at the old house. So we had to go back and hope they were still there, when I should have been, reading the news in preparation to talk about the news. So it's been chaotic, but it's better now because it's at least out of the way and it's a weight off my mind. And now I can isolate in a whole new place, which I guess is nice because I've got a change of scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how you've already put the Blizzard stuff in your decorations.
Literally, the first thing I did was like, I'm putting this up because I had it in my old place, but I'm not sure how to hang yarn art. Shout out to Shireen who made this, by the way. She's brilliant. She's on Instagram, and I'll tweet it or something. I love you too, Victoria. I've just seen your comment. She will get that in 20 seconds. Yeah, no, I had this. I didn't know how to hang it, but I kind of didn't bother to find out how, what with everything else going on. So I just blue tacked it to the wall. And I really hope that works.
It looks fine. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully that's not going to damage it too much when you take it down. But also, fuck landlords, so they can.
Yeah, I mean there are hooks in the walls from presumably some previous tenants. And if they let that slide, I don't think they have much of a leg to stand on when it comes to a bit of blue tack.
Yeah, no, absolutely valid. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Ed, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I've been doing lots of reading.
That's good. What have you been reading?
I've been getting through a book every few days. You know, you can't spell book without ooh. And you can't spell good book without ooh. Ooh. And you know what, Jonny? I think you're good. And you can't spell you're good without ow. Ooh.
Thank you very much. I am putting that on all of my future posters. Wonderful. Have you been up to anything project-wise, or is this your first kind of outing into creativity over this time?
Your first outing into creativity.
Yeah. That's how I phrased it. I stand by it. I definitely don't.
Creativity is a strong word. I did just spell words to you.
You did it in a creative way. Thank you very much for joining us, Ed. Tom, last but not least, how are you doing?
I am all right, and kind of lay like some 1970s porn film because of my knees, but apart from that, we're all good. Apologies to viewers if I stretch at any point. It's going to look weird, but I need to do it. So it's for the OnlyFans account, just like, oh yeah, check out that toe.
Tis very fitting that the captain of Team Cumsack is definitely at risk of showing his balls. So
yeah, Team aired out Cumsack. It's just how it is.
Thank you very much for joining us, Tom. Right, so I think without further ado, it's time to begin the round. So our first round is called No Context. Oh, yeah, for those of you joining without any kind of idea about what this show is, essentially this is, we're doing it in a panel show format rather than a usual kind of stand-up format with people just kind of delivering monologues of their sets with no audience, because that's just the most awkward thing ever. So now it's going to be an awkward thing ever, the most awkward thing ever, but we're going to find it fun. So I hope you enjoy it. This first round is called No Context. We'll be showing our teams a bunch of pictures which have appeared in the news in the last month, and they have to try and work out what news story the pictures came from. So without further ado, let's get the first picture up. Right, what news story do you think this alludes to?
Robots struggle with learning the YMCA.
I'm just reading off the image. Is it toot?
No, but that is better than the story.
This is actually just a picture of half of the gigs I've done pre-COVID, where we've massively overbooked the room and have just put cardboard cutout footballs in there for Andrew's benefit.
And presumably that is also your collection of sex dolls in the front row there, Tom.
Yeah.
Your personal collection that you just happen to have lying around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. A good half a dozen you've got there, mate.
I am looking at the wrong picture. I
was going to say, don't you live with your parents? Where do they let you keep those?
Oh, they're very, very liberal. It's keep them in the closet, ironically enough.
Also, Ed, you've just made me notice the writing does look like it belongs on a Tool album cover. It looks like Tool but upside down.
Oh wait, no, I'm not looking at the wrong picture.
Tool.
I think
Loot.
Sorry, just
beer prices.
Yes,
you know,
Tom,
high
are you
beer
okay?
prices driving fans from stadiums.
the picture we're talking about is different to the one we're showing on the stream.
Is it? Oh shit! It is fucking hell. Oh yeah, Sam.
That's why I got confused.
Yeah, like... no, that is really confusing. So none of these gags have made sense. Like I say, we are just learning the system. Sam, it's the one that is called No Context 1 in.
It's the other way. Well done, Tom.
Wait, hold on, wait. So the joke I made was for the image that we're meant to be showing. Are they sex dolls? I thought they were people.
No one has that smooth knuckles.
We were talking about. There we go. Back one. Back two.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, no, but they might be wearing gloves that smooth out their knuckles.
Sam, it's the one that's called. It's the one that's called No Context 1 in the folder. It's the one of the seats
the
and
stadium.
There's a bunch of sex dolls in the audience.
I love that Sam didn't get it from context. I think that makes me happiest about this.
I feel like we need to look at the comments on this.
Right, while we're sorting this out, I'm just going to have a quick reference to the comments. Vicky Styles has said she demands a full and thorough explanation of the scoring system for transparency and accountability reasons. That's absolutely valid. The scoring system is who I like most gets the most points. So
that's not fair. You've known Kirstie the longest.
Ha ha
ha! That doesn't mean I like her the best. That's okay. Right. Let's see.
So we're doing this one.
I was going to say I would like it if it did, but I would still prefer it if you liked me the best just because I am the best, as opposed to the longevity of our friendship.
Have we got the right one up now? This is 20 seconds behind, so I can't work out if...
They've got eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see eggs.
Yeah, this is not the one. It's the one before this one.
We've done literally every other photo apart from the one that we need.
Spoiler.
You have now got a sneak peek of what's to come.
Should we just do this one? Should we just do this one?
That's the one, Sam. That's the one. Yeah, you got there in the... Well, yeah, now we know all the others. Yeah, I realise I should have given a bit more signposting to which picture I actually wanted up. That was entirely my fault. You don't need to be sorry, Sam. You're perfect. Right, now let's do all those gags again in front of this picture, so it makes sense.
This is Tom's collection of sex dolls.
Wait, so are they... No, but seriously, are they definitely sex dolls? Because they are eerily realistic.
They're robots, and they can't do the YMCA.
Like, I thought they were at best mannequins, but I did also assume that the reason that one in the front is wearing a face mask is because it's got those ones with the fuckable face, and that was just disturbing to have people attempt to perform to a stadium of people just going.
How would get the right image up? Can people just take a moment to appreciate my toot gag?
It's a really good gag.
Beer prices, what was it? Drive fans from stadiums, high beer prices.
Is it so they're not blinking, they're fixed on whatever they're watching, so are they watching this stream?
Hey.
To be fair, Ed, I think the reason they're not blinking is because this is a still photograph.
Realistic sex dolls kept as far apart from each other as you would like to stay from their owners. I'm sorry, I don't like to kink shame or anything, but there is something particularly creepy about being like, no, I want to look it in the eyes, I want to know it's real. I'm not into it. I'm not fucking Brent Spiner.
I can't imagine wanting to fuck something that's facial expression doesn't change when you do stuff to it. Like, can you imagine just getting zero reaction whatsoever and being like, good experience?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it works for Cher, so.
Did you see that guy who had a baby with his sex doll?
What?
Yes, I did.
That's a thing that happened. You've seen it if you follow me on Twitter, Jonny. I
follow you on Twitter. I just very rarely look at it unless I want to ask a question about whether people want to fuck Mr. Blobby or not.
Yeah, some guy tweeted his photo of him and his sex doll gave birth to a baby doll, and they did like the whole like proud dad moment of him with his plastic toy baby.
Well,
and that's a thing that happened that I had to see with my own eyes, and I would like to share it with you.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
Okay.
On that note, does anyone actually know what this news story is referring to?
Is it group of girls ambushed by footballers?
It's just filling the stadium, isn't it? Well, there's no real people.
Yeah, you're kind of on there. Do you want to elaborate a bit on that?
I don't know, South Korea?
It is South Korea. You know what? That's close enough. I'll give you the point. The story is a South Korean football team has apologized for using sex dolls to fill stands to make stadiums appear less empty. To be honest, I'm not really sure why they're apologizing. Personally, as a performer, I'd feel much more comfortable performing to an audience full of sex dolls instead of an audience full of your average Manchester United fans.
This is what I imagine. Sorry.
Go on.
This is what I imagine the porno reboot of Terminator 7 is going to look like.
Yeah,
I love that Tom's question about whether or not they were sex dolls did get answered. I looked at them and I was like, those are sex dolls. And then when Tom made his comment, I was like, oh shit, maybe they're just like regular mannequins, and I'm the problem.
I genuinely thought they were real people, and
they are sex dolls.
I mean, I think this is evidence of how long it's been since Tom saw a real person living in his cupboard with his collection of sex dolls.
It's just me, the cat, and banana bread.
Right. Next, hang on, I meant to be scoring this. Fuck. So yeah, points for that one go to Kurt and Kath. Right, next picture. I've sent that to you all now, and it should be coming up on the screen very shortly. I'm going to wait and see that it's the right one before we start the gags this time. So for the next 20 seconds, let's again have a look through the comments. Victoria Bliss has said I was going to be offended, and then offended, but I'm so not your average United fan, which is correct. You are definitely not. You are the least typical Manchester United fan I've ever met. That I know of. I've probably met other Manchester United fans who just haven't told me. Also, I want everyone to appreciate that I know fuck all about football. I just thought a football gag would be funny here, and it's the first team that I thought of because when I was still working in a pub, every time we had problems with football supporters, it was always Manchester United supporters. So that's entirely what I'm basing my prejudice on.
That's where a lot of my football knowledge comes from as well. Just like, who was the worst on match day, right?
I have seen exactly one football match, and I don't need to see any more because I definitely saw the best thing ever. And it was like some guy went to kick the ball, but it rolled away, and his foot just sailed past it as it continued to slowly roll away. And then it was right next to the seats. So this guy was standing there. There's this man who's just living the moment of just pure unadulterated joy, laughing at him and applauding. And it's just the only football I ever need to see.
Fucking fantastic. Right, the next picture is up now, so if you want to have a look at that and tell me what you think news story this is referring to.
In light of BBC4 shutting down, they are actually looking for live stream quarantine content to raise money, and this is a lockdown version of Hamlet.
Chocolate Taster works from home diligently.
I have so much respect for her. She's clearly living her best lockdown life.
Look how nicely they're arranged.
Is she counting her chocolate chickens against conventional wisdom given the state they are in?
You've kind of ruined the joke I was going to do after this bit, Ed. Thanks.
Next on BuzzFeed, the real history of the Easter egg revealed as we show you what Jesus really had in that cave for 3 days.
Oh, God.
Is that picture in the background a fan drawing of Tom in that reclining pose?
Oh, it is.
Hold on, I can do it. Oh, God, no, I can't.
Easter Bunny reveals her face, looking to recruit a replacement.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love if she was the Easter Bunny. That's
Wait, are we implying that the Easter Bunny is like the Stig?
Yeah.
She's hardworking. I tell you, pasting.
Also,
delivering.
fucking hell, I thought I was bad with my up-to-date pop culture references, but a fucking Stig reference come.
The Stig. Oh, you got Top Gear still on TV. The Stig's still relevant. It's just
Why?
Paddy McGuinness, not Jeremy Clarkson now. Not the Stig. The. Oh, that'd be amazing though. Just like in the
I didn't even know it was Paddy McGuinness. That's how little I know or care about this.
My brother really likes Top Gear. Yeah. He's
valid.
Nobody's perfect.
Right. Any more ideas?
Is it a family of piano-playing eggs?
Like,
No.
this is just a picture of my life goals.
Scarlett says, "Woman admires her purple children."
Isn't it? Didn't Cadbury say, like, officially that your chocolate should be stored out of the fridge?
Oh, get fucked.
Oh,
be
yeah,
honest-
no, I did hear this, and I just dismissed it because they are wrong.
Yeah, it's like
I think they did say that, but that's not what this story is from.
it's like you're meant to, it's like you're
It's a
meant to
real
keep,
story.
it's like you're meant to keep ketchup in the fridge. No one fucking does. What? Oh no.
Tom loses a point for his ignorance.
It's not, no, you keep it in the cupboard. It's much better that way. Who wants cold ketchup on the chips? It cools down the chips.
Tom's very passionate.
You just microwave the ketchup first. It's fine.
No, because then it boils over and it separates.
Okay, no, so I mean, not with chips, but like if you're putting it on like some cheese on toast, you put the ketchup on and pop it back under the grill for like
You put
another
ketchup on
30
cheese on
seconds.
toast.
Well, I don't. I put barbecue sauce on cheese on toast.
Right.
And then it's basically just easy pizza.
Has anyone got any? Does anyone actually know what the story is, or should I tell you?
It's an egg that she's holding is particularly funny.
That is the funniest egg. No one. Right. I'm going to assume you can't get this unless you can tell me in the next 4 seconds.
She looks a little bit like Theresa May. Is it Theresa May celebrating her Easter not having to deal with this shit?
Oh God, yeah. She looks like Theresa May about 20 years ago, maybe. Like,
Yeah, she's doing a lot better now. She doesn't have to deal with the shit show that is this country.
yeah. She kind of got out lucky there, which is saying a lot given how much she fucked up. Right, this story is this is a story about how the National Trust for Scotland, before lockdown, ordered about 300,000 chocolate eggs for their Easter hunt, which was then cancelled, and they were looking for ways to get rid of these eggs because they would have gone past their date otherwise. But since posting this article, I am pleased to say they have successfully found something to do with the eggs, and they've returned them to their mothers, and a new generation of Cadbury Dairy Milk bars are hatching as we speak. Fuck off, Ed, for doing that joke, but better. Right, next one. I will send that over now.
While you're doing that, can I just say, everyone in the comments is like here for the barbecue sauce on cheese on toast. Like some people are like, I'm gonna try it, and other people are already like, yes, this is the one.
Right, okay. Put the next one. Right, I put the next picture up now. That should be coming soon. I don't know if it's loaded in the chat yet, so it is on the stream. So I don't. Can we see it? I don't know.
No, I can't see it.
This is going very smoothly.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
I think
we can see it. It's going so well.
Magic of
It's the
TV.
world's one,
My
isn't
internet
it?
connection is apparently unstable. So, am I coming through all right? I don't know. Can you hear me? Is this? Hello.
All good.
Cool. Yeah, I can't find. Yep. The pictures come through. Yeah, my internet was being a bit funny there, so I think that's what happened. So yeah, this is the next picture. What do you think this is all about?
We've
I
been in
think this is how
lockdown.
many years till these guys move to Canada.
That's far too generous. It should be at least half of that.
They're given the Euro million. They're given the Euro million to go now that they've won the genetic lottery.
Are they showing off the new design for their genetically modified radishes?
I thought with the lack of tourism coming into London right now, the Royals need a new way to make money, because people aren't buying Buckingham Palace tat, so they're doing a live stream bingo.
Well, yeah. You got the correct answer much sooner than I expected.
Wait, is that actually the answer?
They are doing, yeah.
What?
I mean, not completely, but close enough. They are doing a live stream bingo. Yeah, this is a story about how William and Kate not only hosted a virtual bingo night for a care home, but just got heckled to death because they were doing it badly. So yeah, just like a few of my favorite ones. One, Mrs. Drew saying not as good as it should have been, which is already a burn. Another saying, Jesus Christ, what are everyone's taxes paying for? And I've not seen numbers slaughtered this badly since the government's COVID testing figures.
Beautiful. Can we book all of them? all of those vicious old people. Can they be on our show next?
Yes, they should be. I'll see. I mean, like, they clearly have webcams because they've been taking part in this. So yeah, we can get them on. Right, next one. Sam, I'm going to send that through now. Hopefully my internet doesn't struggle with it again.
While we wait, I may give the very dumb gag a go of Kate Middleton announces the age she wishes she was forever.
Oh, fucking hell.
I told you, bad.
Right, okay, I've sent the next one through now, so this should be coming up soon. Let's have a quick check over the comments. There's a lot of there's a lot of debate going over the ketchup and barbecue sauce. Right?
A lot of people
Marshmallow
also...
Fairy says barbecue sauce on cheese and toast is the one. Stephen Willis is slightly disgusted that you don't keep ketchup in the fridge once it's been opened.
No.
I actually agree with that.
But once it's been opened, it'll go off.
It'll go off in the fridge as well.
But
like a fridge is not something that stops things going off. It keeps for like, you can keep ketchup in the cupboard for like 5 years, not having any of it. It's all sugar.
It is all sugar, yeah.
I just remembered I haven't been doing scores either. Kirstie got that last one, and no one got the one before, so it's fine. I only missed one. Right, the next picture's up now. What do you think this is to do with?
Trump visits storage unit where the skeletons from his closet are kept.
Is he making a sincere attempt to try and
This
hide?
is
Wait, what was that, Ed? Sorry.
Sincere attempt to try and hide.
Spray and protection.
This is a demonstration of how to keep your massive bell end safe from infection.
I like how it cut off halfway through the word infection as if it was censoring it.
Fans have been... I'm sorry, go.
No, you're the captain.
No. Oh.
Captain Cumsack.
Captain, well, as the captain of the good ship Cumsack, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, well, as a shipmate, I'll let the captain go first.
Right, that's it. Kirstie and Kath are getting the point.
What merry seamen we are above the SS Cumsack.
With a K.
All right. Let's see. Fans left bitterly disappointed as Daft Punk reveal identity.
I was going to say, actually, if you notice all the scale with everything, that's a very small mask, and the hands are to scale.
Fucking hell. Right, any more?
Steals PPE from line workers.
Almost the opposite, to be honest.
Have it.
Does anyone know what this is?
Is this him just finally wearing protection after? Well, I mean that's a joke in itself. But is this him like finally wearing PPE after coming under fire for not wearing masks in factories when he visits?
I will give you a point for that. You're not quite right, but that is close enough.
But I'm not quite wrong.
No. I mean, yeah, everything you said was right, but this was taken from an earlier news story of when Trump was refusing to wear face masks for the cameras, regardless of regulations of where he was being, and despite threats from being banned from various different places for not doing it. Presumably because he's concerned about deaf Americans not being able to lip read if his face is covered, or more likely because he's a cunt. Right, we've got one.
I like how people threaten to ban him and do all this as if threatening Trump has ever achieved anything in life. It's like we fucking impeached him and he's still here. He's an unkillable hydra. It's just like you chop off the head of controversy and 5 more just fucking sprout.
Of course it is, yeah. Right, I'll send through the last picture now. I imagine Sam will be able to work out which one this is by process of elimination, but I will send it through anyway. And slightly more light-hearted one to finish on. If my internet will be sensible. Yep, okay, that's through.
I like to think that this one just had the headline, "Fuck you, sourdough, Burger King's back."
I wouldn't be surprised if it had been used for that. Like, certainly after this stream, because obviously all the Burger King marketing teams will be watching this.
I mean, this is actually nothing to do with Burger King. This is just from Fashion Week.
Oh God, I want one of those hats. Yeah.
Is it? So you want like biting up-to-date satire?
Yes. Yes.
Is it they're wearing cardboard crowns because Gordon Brown sold all the gold?
A decade late. Love it. That's
2 decades late at this point.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Burger King workers take to busking.
Oh
no.
That's actually a really sad commentary on
how many coins?
On how service workers are being treated throughout this entire thing. not being paid properly on furlough and having to take up other jobs in order to survive.
Also, if they've chosen busking, like, how's that going to go? No one's on the streets to throw their change at you. Oh, you want this one to be a light-hearted one to finish on, Jonny. I'm so sorry.
I'm very surprised that, Right, comedy's cancelled, everyone. Everything's too depressing.
Animal rights activists announced that the needless killing of animals for our fast food obsession is all right so long as you wear a silly hat.
I'm pretty sure that is Peter's stance, yeah. Right, any more ideas?
Do you want the answer?
Burger King looking for Burger Queen.
Yeah, if you know the answer.
I mean, is this an attempt to reopen while also forcing people to maintain social distancing with silly hats? And also there was like giant rubber rings and shit that people are using. Yeah, basically. That's why I'll give you the point for that. That's pretty much spot on.
I'm genuinely... Sorry, John.
No, John, you go first.
I'm genuinely surprised at how long it's taken us, well, as a society, to be like, all right, guys, we know what's going on with COVID now. Time to bring out the marketing gimmicks. Like, it's taken us a good couple of months, which, I mean, bearing in mind that we're a broken fucking society, that's kind of impressive. Well done, guys. And so, like, I was expecting the Burger King social distancing hats like day 1 of lockdown. Like, you pre-ordered them.
My favourite thing about the picture is they've opened up the Burger King, but the hats are too big to actually get through the door.
Done. Plot hole. Yeah, so this is a story about how Burger King, I think this is in Germany, they're doing an interesting social distancing measure by giving people these crowns. So they were they will maintain the 6 feet social distancing measures. Other measures that various restaurants have been using around Europe include hats made out of pool noodles, burgers with triple the onion count to deter people by smell, and proximity detectors that play the last 4 bars of Hey Jude progressively louder on loop whenever anyone is within 6 feet of you.
Jonny, may I ask a question, please?
Yes, you may.
So if you get these hats once you've bought something, like, what's stopping you getting too close to people as you like walk to the counter and make your order?
I don't know. I'm not Burger King.
I feel like I feel like I might have missed something.
I feel like that. I think this is a publicity thing more than an actual measure. To be honest, I mean, like, I think they will have actual social. Like, they'll have like the things that all other like shops and restaurants are doing with like the lines of where you like wait.
Those things that I was gonna say, those things that like don't really work, but I can't imagine the hats work that well either. So a bit redundant, really, isn't it?
They are a bit redundant, but they are also very cool.
Are you jealous you're not in Germany where you can get a Burger King hat?
A little bit.
Right, at the end of that round, go on.
I was just, it's not worth it. It's, I was just like, can you think of anything whiter than a sombrero that celebrates the monarchy?
Oh God, yeah. That was really funny, but you're still not getting another point for that, Tom. At the end of that round, Team Cumgate have 3 points, and Team Cumsack only have 1.
Oh, crushing it!
That's what you get for not taking the quiz seriously. Right, our next round is called This Just In, where our teams take the roles of news anchors who have been given the first line of a news story. But then their transmissions have cut out before they can get the rest of the story, so they have to make it up as they go along. It's not a realistic scenario, fuck you, but it's just fun. As Tom and Ed are in last place, I'm going to let them go first. Between you, who I was going to say decide between yourselves who's going to go first, but we know how that's going to work out.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yep, go on. Let's do it.
Schnick, schnack, schnuck. Right, that's you. We didn't decide if that means you go first or not, though.
Whoever one can choose.
I'll go first. First.
Ed's going to go first. Thank you very much. Okay, your first news line is the way this one works is points are given for creativity and also how close they are to the actual story that it's taken from. So Ed, your first line is: researchers in Australia claim they have recorded the fastest ever internet data speed.
I can tell you this: it wasn't Virgin Media. Not a joke. That's just my contribution to the discussion.
Are you with Virgin Media?
It's Tom's go.
Tom's go.
The internet is so fast it's been reported that it even goes up to 10.
Okay. However, while it's the fastest internet, it's still not quite as fast as my ability to come up with a funny follow-up.
Which is why today, live in the studio, we will be deciding once and for all, with a live competition, who is faster, the world's fastest internet or Usain Bolt. And he's here today. Sorry, Ed, you've got to figure out how that race would work. I do apologise.
Incidentally, Usain Bolt was featured a few years ago in some Virgin ads, which brings me back to my annoyance with Virgin Media and their lockdown internet.
And that's Thom Bee and Ed Roworth signing out with fuck you, Virgin Media.
Wonderful. I'm going to give you 2 points for that. To be honest, it was going to be quite hard to completely deviate from the story because it was basically in the first line. Essentially, various teams of Australian universities have logged a data speed of 44.2 terabits per second, which could download 1,000 HD movies in less than a second, or watch a movie in Disney Plus with only having to pause the buffer twice. Right, yeah, 2 points for that. So, Kirstie, Kath, which one of you wants to go first?
Kath, you're our guest. Would you like to choose?
It doesn't worry me. I am very happy either way.
Okay, you can go first.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Kath's going first. Your first line is: Wetherspoons has unveiled an £11 million master plan to reopen its 875 pubs safely.
The plan involves poo noodles. It involves people buying drinks, but then going outside to drink them. And it involves streamers.
But most importantly, they are spending the majority of that money on having Tim Martin forcibly removed from the company and buried in a bunker very close to the core of the earth where he can't do any more damage.
My internet froze and I didn't hear you at all, Kirstie.
I should mention internet because
I said bunker. Like,
yeah.
Please, yeah.
I said,
please tell me.
I said they're putting Tim Martin, the founder and chairman of Wetherspoons, in a bunker underground where he can just stop talking and making everyone hate him and by association Wetherspoons.
Yeah. So we're going to freeze him in the bunker like Han Solo, but we're never going to melt him. And we're just going to have pubs. And as part of the furlough process, everyone will get money from the government to the Wetherspoons app to purchase drinks.
I'm really looking forward to this. Can we change the real story for our scenario? I like it much more than whatever thing you said.
I can't shake the image of you two as Lara Croft and Tim Martin as the butler in Tomb Raider 2.
I'm looking forward to the bit in the future where a century's time the next generation of Lara Croft uncover him and they have to prevent his curse from killing all the archaeologists.
Oh,
with
Lara Croft
ships.
Lara Croft in Curse of the Gammon.
So when Tim Martin's resurrected in 400 years' time, was it? Mm-hmm. He tries to set up a chain of pubs, and this time he tries to atone for his past sins.
Oh, I like that. I thought it was going to be like it curses all the archaeologists who uncovered him to never be able to eat cheesy garlic bread again without realizing halfway through that it's not fully defrosted.
Oh, like a proper monkey's paw sort of thing, just like you get your wish.
But it's their second chance in 400 years' time when he's melted down. He's going to try to produce quality food because no one will accept it because they'll remember there'll be oral traditions passed on about this Wetherspoons and the food not being of a sufficient quality, and everyone won't take will only take decent food, and he won't be able to succeed in 400 years' time.
He'll wake up in the future and hear all of the stories about him and how he made British pubs such a subpar, mediocre experience. And we'll fix the error of his ways by making good pubs for our great grandchildren.
And it would be visited by the ghosts of free landlords.
In fact, that's how the transition occurs.
Yeah, it's like there's the ghost of beer future. It's just him kind of like drinking beer out of a holographic glass. Just like, this is shit and it's your fault.
Do you want to round this one up now? Got a bit carried away.
And then everyone will live happily ever after with actual good pub food.
Yay!
The end.
I really enjoyed that one. I'm going to give you 3 points for that. Yeah, that was wonderful. I just want to say, Jonathan Morris commented in reference to my joke about Disney Plus, saying that's not speed, that's bandwidth. So I do apologize for it. I don't know why I didn't expect anyone to call me out on that. Like, if any audience is going to get that, it's going to be us. And Stuart Dunlop says, I think you guys have lost Richard Branson as an audience member. Good.
Didn't want him anyway.
Stephen Willis says, get Spielberg on the phone. It's a blockbuster in the making. I would definitely pay to watch this. And
is this the Tim Martin film?
Yeah.
Who would play Tim Martin?
Say again?
Who would play Tim Martin?
Oh, Al Murray, obviously.
Nice. Yeah. Fair.
Vicky Styles says, make everyone drink and the ladies losers. They're always about the size of an aircraft hangar, which is true.
That one that we went to for breakfast in Manchester when all the nice breakfast places were closed.
Waterhouse, yeah.
Like, I got about 100 people on my Facebook just, is that real?
I thought you were going to say, like, you got about 100 people in the bathroom with you, just like you're testing the boundaries.
I'm sure you could have done.
Yeah.
I've got a friend who used to work for Wetherspoons, and it sounds like this fucking hellscape of a job, just customers alone.
Oh, it is, yeah.
She had one shift where someone came up to her and just like, hey, we're a bit worried. Our mate has been missing for like 2 hours. He went to the toilet, but we can't find him. Do you mind having a look? So she went to have a look, couldn't find him. They searched the fucking place for like an hour until finally they find him, butt naked, behind the toilet door, but because when it was opening, he was just sleeping there, so was hidden behind the door, lay asleep next to an empty pint glass with his own shit in it.
Oh!
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Like he sat in a glass when he was in a bathroom.
Did he finish the pint first?
Yes, yeah, it was an empty pint. I assume, I don't want to believe that he shat in a pint glass and then was just like, oh, my teeth will filter it.
I realise this is a 20-second delay thing, but just as you were saying that, Tom, Victoria Bliss's comment came through saying, I love a happy ending. I realise that's like whatever we said 20 seconds ago, but that's just...
That was everyone lived happily ever after and had good pub food.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But someone did do a shit in a pint.
Or the happy ending that they found the friend. Like, the circumstances in which they found him were disturbing, but they got him back.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was happy for his friend, but it wasn't happy for my friend whose job it was to then move him, try and get him dressed, only to find out that he tried to flush his clothes down the toilet.
Oh, I also feel sorry for like whoever had to wash that pint glass and then whoever then had to subsequently drink a pint out of it.
Oh no, you throw it out. No, you throw that shit out.
No, you would throw it out. Wetherspoons wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
No, you've been it. You've just been it.
So this was a story about Wetherspoons must plan on reopening to accommodate social distancing measures, as was basically in the first line, to be honest, to ensure the safety of its patrons. It's actually really clever what systems that they're putting in place to do this. What they've done is they've systematically abused their workers and neglected their rights publicly for the past however many years. So by the time they reopen, everyone will want to boycott them, and therefore no one will be in there, and the chance of the virus spreading in the pub will be minimal. So now we are going to have a quick break so people can go have a poo, preferably not in a pint glass. But before we do, let's do a quick check-in on the scores. Currently, Tom and Ed are on 3 points, while Kurt and Kath are on 6 points. Yay! Right, so we will resume in 5 minutes with our next round. So we'll see you then. I mean, I'll still be here chatting shit, but it'll be a more informal chatting of shit than previously.
No one will get scored on this chatting of shit.
Maybe.
I just saw Starlet's comment regarding the pint story, which is, no, you'd throw that. It's cursed.
Okay. We, as rational, throw away the pint glass with a human shit in it. What I'm saying is, with Tim Martin in charge, Wetherspoons would not. I do not trust them that much.
I like to think that they will, because I think Wetherspoons get a lot of their glassware for free from suppliers. Like, because I mean that's what a lot of smaller bars do. So I assume that as a big chain, it just gets a bunch of like freebies. Just like, all right, you're selling Punk IPA, here's Punk IPA glass.
They used to. They started. Well, I don't know if it's the same now, but like for a while they just stopped using branded glasses altogether. I don't know why, but so. I don't quite know what happened with that. But also,
it's distracting on a back bar.
It's worth pointing out as well that even if Tim Martin would want to wash and reuse the glass, Wetherspoon staff are not paid enough to not just fucking bin that. So
fair. I used to work in a bar that got paid to serve a specific brand of energy drink and not serve any other brand of energy drink. So not only did they get all of the energy drink for free, they also got like 10 grand to just not stock another energy drink. And they still charged £3.40 a can.
Yeah. It sounds about right. It's awful. So I've worked for a lot of bars which are like they have the same beers. Let's call it a Dyneken bar. It rhymes with Schmeineken, but yeah, and it's like they get paid by Schmeineken. They kind of like have all the branded glassware, they get a ton of shit for free, and it's still like, oh, and also $5. I think some of it's like because it's city centre prices, so it's like, I know for a fact if I was in London, I'd be excited if someone gave me a £2.50 pint, but I'd also assume that something was wrong with it.
I can take you to the places that do you a £2.50 pint.
Yeah, no, but I'm in my head. I'm gonna think, oh, someone's gonna shit in this pint glass in the past.
My favourite £2.50 pint place, I genuinely thought was just like, because I first went in there because I couldn't find a pub that wasn't rammed with people watching the football. So I thought they'd dropped the prices during football season to get people to come into this like fish restaurant. It was like quick seafood. And
oh, that's the worst kind of seafood.
Yeah, the food wasn't great, but it was a £2.50 pint. So I went back there thinking that there's only going to be a limited amount of time until football season ends and they go back to the regular drinks prices, and they haven't. It's been like 3 years and they are still serving £2.50 pints. And I've cycled past that place on like my daily allotted exercise time, and I just miss it more than like most venues in London.
There is
as wonderful as London's venues are.
It's one of the worst places on earth. Not London, but it's one of the worst places on earth. But there's a Yates in my hometown which has £1.20 Carling on a Wednesday.
Ooh.
But it doesn't mean you have to go to a Yates in Wednesday. So
when I was up in Manchester, and I saw you at GAY, when I went to get a pint, and I asked for a pint, and the guy charged me £1.70, and I went, no, I asked for a full pint, thinking he thought I'd asked for a half, because I'm just so not used to a pint being £1.70.
I mean,
and it being a normal thing.
But that's like I wouldn't say that's normal to mine. Certainly not in Elstree.
No,
it's like that is a GAY packing them in because they like 20-year-olds vomiting on a Sunday afternoon. So
yeah, I was surprised because like I'd already been to Manchester a lot and I'd been there for like 4 days, and at no point had anyone thought to mention that I can get a pint for £1.70.
Because it means going to GAY. That's why it's like I like a £1.70 pint as well. Not anymore, I suppose. But I like a £1.70 pint as much as anybody. I'm not the authority on this anymore. This was weird. I like it as much as anybody else, but also GAY is loud and stressful, and usually, I mean, even at £1.70, they sell mostly water in the evenings. If you catch my drift. That
is fair. I mean, to be fair, that was the only time I've been to the Manchester GAY, and I quite enjoyed it because there was no one there apart from us.
That was fun.
That was really good.
That was like a Sunday afternoon, wasn't it, or something like that?
I think it was like a Monday at about 3 p.m.
It was, yeah, Monday.
And their rooftop smoking area is really nice in the summer.
Yeah, that was a fun experience. So what we're saying is Manchester GAY, 3 p.m. on a Monday, good. Don't bother the rest of the time.
But Manchester GAY,
just specifically for that 1 minute.
If you would like to sponsor us, Manchester
3 p.m. to 3:01. Speaking of sponsorship, it seems like a good time to remind people that you can donate if you are enjoying today's stream and would like to support struggling artists. I guess we are. You can donate via PayPal or Patreon in the description below. So that would be absolutely wonderful if you are able to. Kirstie, I don't know if you have the PayPal up now. Can we see if any money's coming in just out of interest? I don't want to do a whole countdown thing because then that like we did with the charity stream, because that seems a bit up ourselves.
Yeah, and it's given it's not for charity, it's just for us. Like, don't get me wrong,
I'm just curious. Yeah. In fact, no, keep it a secret. Yeah, it seems a bit wanky.
I don't know.
Just message me on Facebook. I'm just curious.
Will do.
Like, I do have this kind of thing where kind of like in lockdown, I feel like I might be a charity though. Like, I think like.
Oh, Mr. Blobby's here, so it must be a charity something.
It's like, yeah, no, right. I miss income. I've just got all I have now is a sugar daddy called Universal Credit.
Right, we'll give it a couple more minutes, then at 22 we will resume the action. I should say as well, this has gone on longer than I expected currently, so we might have to cut the original last round. But we'll see how we are for time when we get to it.
Oh, that's the one I did the most preparation for.
Okay. Oh, hi Sam.
That's the bit I've done no prep for. So well done, Kirst.
But no, it's fine. Don't keep it on my account.
No, that's absolutely fine. Well, I'll see how we are for time. I want to be done by 10:30. So, but to be fair, I think these next couple of rounds shouldn't be as long as the first one. So yeah, we shall see.
I was gonna say if we're gonna.
Oh, go on.
It's okay. I stopped myself because I fell over about 3 words. I was gonna say if we've only done 1 round so far, but I know that we haven't. Because I was there. But when you said the first one, it threw me.
Yeah. Oh. Hello? What? What's going on?
Oh, hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam. Yeah.
Sam's on the screen.
Yep, Sam is on the screen.
Oh, we've had a comment saying some people are going to send us money when they get paid Wednesday. We are going to leave the PayPal up because we're aware that payday is in a few days for a lot of people. So anything that comes through in the next week will go towards our wonderful guest performers from today.
Are we even actually playing on the video? Because I know that we're not viewing. I know that we're not like visible on there, but I don't know if the sound's still on.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I wouldn't have blamed you if it wasn't. I'm definitely enjoying looking at you more than I am looking at myself. So that's okay. That's fine. Bridget says hi Sam, and so does Scarlett, and Riley just says Sam. So I assume that's in the same vein. Right, welcome back. We will continue now. I don't know why I stretched out that sentence. So our next round is called Fake News Detectives. I'm going to be giving each team some headlines from various articles I found on the internet. And they have to work out if it's a real headline that I found or if it's just one I have made up. So Ed and Tom are currently in last place, so they can go first. Ed and Tom, your headline is clapping for the NHS may actually make coronavirus stronger, study suggests. True or false?
Oh, is it like an applausometer, or like the more you clap, the stronger you power it up?
It's just kind of like boosting the virus's ego because it just assumes it's for him. I
like how you've gendered the virus.
I am definitely look. It's intrusive on our society. It's a man.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Have you just seen Scarlett's message? Yeah,
I have just seen Scarlett's message. It's really cute.
We'll invite her on to the next one.
All right, so coronavirus strengthened by clapping for the NHS.
Yes.
I can't see the logic in why it would be, but what is logic in these times?
I don't think it's true, but
I don't.
Was it reported in a publication as true? It's the real question.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I realized the round title is a bit misleading. Like, these are, it's essentially whether it's a real headline or not. Whether the stuff in the headline is factually accurate is probably mostly going to be false. But
is that trying to help us, Jonny?
I don't know.
Can we get bonus
does it help
points if we guess which publication?
The Sun would publish that, whether it's true or not.
No, it feels like a Guardian opinion piece.
So like it's the kind of thing the Sun would post, but it doesn't really fit in with the agenda, so I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like kind of like that, like when they just get anybody to write in for a Guardian thing, you're just like, well, actually, I think you're fine, but not having a child makes you much cooler. And like, my 2,000-word essay. I think it might have been reported because we all love a bit of fear mongering, don't we?
Well, you're the captain.
Right. What are you going for then? True or false? Or printed or not? Whatever.
Well, what do you think, Ed? I'm trusting you because I'm doubting myself.
Let's go true. Go on.
True.
I think it's bullshit, but I think it's been either printed or put on the internet.
The coronavirus, the non-anthropomorphic entity that is the coronavirus, is strengthened by noise. There we go. and in 6 months' time, we'll be all living in a real life version of A Quiet Place.
It's also strengthened by Scar and.
Whoa! We're leaving Star out of this. Star's done nothing to you, Ed.
Not me. It's coronavirus. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just reporting the news.
Real big fish sang about beer not spreading germs. So
you're going for true.
Yeah,
true.
You are incorrect. This is a completely bullshit headline. You are incorrect. There is about as much evidence for clapping making coronavirus stronger as there is for clapping for the NHS being a preferable alternative to funding the fucking thing properly. So that is no points for you. Kirstie and Kath, your headline is... fans petition to keep Trapped off the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake soundtrack. True or false?
Yeah, that sounds like something people do. What's going on in the world right now? That is definitely someone's priority. Write a petition about and encourage people to do.
Everyone can create a petition now, isn't it? Like, everyone can go. So, yeah. I just care about this. I get 50 of my friends on it.
I definitely. I see that being very feasible right now.
People have time to think, and this is the key issue they want to think about.
Yeah, people are like weirdly passionate about. I'm sure I might have even. I feel like I've seen something similar to this. If it's not this, like I feel like I've seen memes about like people whining about the new Tony Hawk soundtrack, but like part of me, and I know I did this in the practice game where I talked myself to and from true and false for about 10 minutes. Like part of me suspects like you might have just switched the song that it is, or that because you said it's the song, I think it's a soundtrack when it was actually like some graphics that don't fit with people's memory of the game or something. But I feel like
what's your final answer?
I don't think you're that sneaky. Like as in, I don't think you're trying to rob me of possible points by being
no. Jonny stated this explicitly in warm-up that they would they're just swapping out different words from the news headline for other words. This could be happening. This is what's happening.
But that would then require us to know which songs might be on the new Tony Hawk game soundtrack and which ones old Tony Hawk game fans would prefer. And I don't think Jonny thinks either of us know enough about Tony Hawk to be able to spot this. Like, I think if this question was for Tom, they might have done that. But Jonny damn well knows I've only ever played like Harry Potter and Pokemon. I got a Switch.
I'm gonna go with your gut, your first instinct, even though we were told that this could be exactly what happens.
I think this is definitely a thing that people have done, or they've done something similar. So I'm leaning towards true.
You're leaning towards true. Is that your final answer?
Kath, can you please say if it's our final answer?
Who wants to be a millionaire.
Going with true. Yep.
You're going with true. You are correct. It is true. There is, and there is a petition. I've actually signed and shared this, so you should have known that. And the best thing about this petition is, it's about the song "Headstrong" by Trapped. Best thing is, song has never been in the Tony Hawk's game and is not going to be in this Tony Hawk's game. So I don't know why the petition started, but just in case, I thought I might as well sign it.
1 minute it's funding the NHS, the next is this.
Yeah, equally important topics, I feel.
This is absolutely something people are really passionate about right now.
I'm one of them. Actually, Jonny, can you seriously link me to this petition when we're done? Because I'm
Oh, you know what? I might comment it on the YouTube video.
I'm not convinced Jonny isn't that sneaky though. This is the next headline.
This is what I'm saying. If that was Tom's question, I reckon Jonny would have like sneakily changed the name of the song to something, just a song that we happen to know Tom hates. just so that Tom would desperately want to sign the petition, which like
I hate Trapped as well.
I have put the link to the petition in the chat, so if anyone wants to sign it, you can. It's currently on 17,809 out of a goal of 25,000.
So this is a petition for something that was never going to happen anyway.
Yep.
And people just want to double make sure it's not going to happen.
Because Trapped are trash. Because Trapped to trash.
If that were on the Parliament website, that would have to get a response from the petitions committee.
It is change.org, yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hope it does. I'd love to hear that.
It's only like the official web, but yeah, if that were on the government petition website,
right,
as opposed to change.org. Yeah, so you need to if you're starting a petition, you need to think about these things. So, when we start a petition to make, I don't know, get Johnny Collins knighted for services to comedy, do it through Parliament, because then if it gets to 10,000, they has to give a response. 100,000, they have to debate it in Parliament.
Oh, God. Yeah, we should definitely start this petition. How many Facebook likes do we have? I don't think it's 100,000.
No, we have like 500. Go like us on Facebook.
That's a start. Yeah.
There's 47 on YouTube, but more after this.
Right, next one.
To be fair, we've had YouTube the least amount of time.
Ed and Tom, your next headline is Biden's virtual campaign speech repeatedly interrupted by geese. True or false?
Joe Biden, sponsored by the Untitled Goose Game.
No, House would never do that.
We can't ask for more context, can we?
Johnny, can we have more context?
No. It's just based off of the headline. I've just noticed Sam has put the petition actually in the video as well. So
I want to believe this is true because geese genuinely terrify me. I don't like their teeth, and I would like to think that they're kind of like trying to boost their image in my eyes.
Right, okay, Tom, would you rather fuck a goose or Joe Biden?
Oof.
Oh. A goose. so long as there's no like oral stuff, because again, those.
What do our audience think? Audience, would you rather would you rather fuck Joe Biden or a miscellaneous goose?
How sexy is the goose?
When you say fuck Joe
that's subjective,
Biden,
isn't it?
When you say fuck Joe Biden, right? Do you have to be like a generous lover to him? Or
it's just fucking. Like you can work out all the bits and bobs in your own time.
Like, could you be like, I don't care if you have a nice time, but
I mean, I feel like it should be consensual all the way around. You
can be consensual and disappointing, Jonny, okay?
Oh, that's the name of my autobiography.
We need that. We need that on a shirt. Consensual and disappointing.
Consensual yet disappointing. like generally I'd prefer not to be disappointing, but if it was Joe Biden I wouldn't care very much. If it's like that or straight up bestiality, I might take one for the team of not abusing animals.
Is Joe Biden whining and dining me first, because I'll do it for a free meal?
Talk to him about that. Email him now. Stuart says the goose would probably acknowledge you more, to be honest, which is, I mean, acknowledge.
Yeah, no, but I don't always want to be acknowledged.
Right. Anyway, back to this is a quiz. Back to the
right.
So yeah, are you going true or false on that?
I think. Hear me out. I think it's true, and here's my reasoning. So, it's obvious that Biden can't beat Trump. So the DNC, in an attempt to win, have tried sneakily swapping Biden for a goose that has more of a chance of beating Trump. But it's clearly failed this time round. But just just keep watching. But I think it's true.
I am going to agree with my teammate and say that it's true, because if you say they're all true, eventually one of them will be, because that's how picking things works.
So you're going for true?
Yeah, true.
Cool. You are correct. It is true. Yep, Joe Biden's he was doing a virtual campaign speech on live TV, and it was interrupted by geese. Although a more accurate headline might have been "Beautiful Geese Song Disrespectfully Drowned Out by Old White Man Talking Bollocks."
Is there a video of that? And if so, please may I have it?
There is. It's actually not that interesting because the geese are very quiet in it. Otherwise, I would have. I
thought they were proper loud, just and we promise to just keep going as we are. It's just it'd be great. I don't know what a goose sounds like. I don't get close enough to them because they scare.
I'm enjoying what Sam is doing to the background of the stream. Just we're not even on Dickhead of the Month yet, but I really enjoy that banner. Thanks. Right. Yep. We have a couple more of these. So yep, Tom, that's a point to you. Next one is for Kirstie and Kath. And this one is multi-millionaire attempts to take government to court over extended Wetherspoons closure.
Is the multimillionaire Tim Martin? Yes, he would do that. We've established he's not at his redemption arc yet.
No. That's
I mean, if it was him, he wasn't in the headline. That's all I can say.
What other billionaire would want to open it?
Yeah, I don't think multimillionaires hang out at Spoons.
Maybe
I think
Richard Branson.
I love the idea of Richard Branson having a hungover Spoons breakfast at 9 in the morning.
I flew back from my island for this.
This is called fake news, Detective Sam, by the way.
I mean, I feel like the multi-millionaires are suing the government over the fact that their businesses aren't keeping them making multi-millions of money.
I don't think they could because of the backlash to him and the Sports Direct guy and a few other people. I think right now it'd be a really bad business move. So they might have wanted to, but I don't think they would right now.
Are you going true or false?
think I'm leaning a bit more towards false. I think Kath makes a good argument. I think
I'm wrong.
I don't know how much multimillionaires want to go to spoons or care about spoons. I think the only one who really gives a shit is the one that owns it. And I mean,
we're not even sure about opening schools. There's backlash against that. So opening pubs is barely high priority, is it?
You're welcome, Sam.
Should we say? Are we saying false?
Yeah, I would say false.
Yeah, say false.
Say false.
Hopefully, since
you are correct. It is false. Yeah, it is that a multimillionaire is attempting to sue the government over what he deems unfair and harsh lockdown measures, however, which is a bit like attempting to sue the NHS because you have a cold. So, yeah.
Oh, you can do that.
I mean, people try.
I said Jonny had swapped bits out.
Yep, I do that sometimes because I'm not creative enough to just come up with bollocks headlines without something to work off. With the exception being the first one. Right, we have 2 more to go. This one's for Tom and Ed. This one is Amazon told workers paid sick leave law doesn't cover warehouses.
That's eminently plausible. That's
incredibly plausible. It's like it's hard to be funny about because that is just the world that we live in. It's like it's just yeah. It's like
maybe it's too plausible, and that's how.
Yeah, because the whole the stories from Amazon are fucking ridiculous. It's like the stories of people like not getting toilet breaks, so they're pissing in plastic bottles and shitting in pint glasses.
That's what that spoons guy was doing it for.
Yeah, it's just conditioned.
Yeah.
I mean, legally it can't be possible. Like paid sick leave. Like, I get paid sick leave for a 0-hours contract job in an estate room. It's like, oh wait, no, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh wait, no.
No.
This isn't necessarily they've gone.
I forgot I was working
through with it. It's that Amazon have tried to convince them, which is definitely plausible, even if they haven't actually got a legal leg to stand on.
Oh yeah, just kind of just released a statement, which is just like, well, actually. I think you'll find you're not entitled to anything, and you've got to do what we say. That's what the law says. Don't read it. Don't read it. That's.
I'm gonna have to rush for an answer.
Oh fuck.
Fuck is not an answer.
No, fuck is always an answer. I'm gonna say false, but Ed.
Hey, you're the captain.
Oh, no. Oh, heavy is the head that bears responsibility.
Are you going for false?
I'm going for false.
It is, in fact, true. This is in California. During a pandemic, Amazon are trying to weasel out of paying sick leave to its staff, specifically the warehouse ones who handle the goods you're buying. I mean, if you're not going to boycott them on moral reasons, this is really disturbing. It is definitely worth it. Unlike, it's a tough thing to do because Amazon are more accessible than a lot of places when it comes to delivery, but ultimately, they are absolute scum. So if you can use other services, I would strongly advise you do that.
Stuart Dunlop has just commented, just a reminder, everyone, if you find some on Amazon, also you can buy it on the company's own online store.
That's definitely worth doing. Yeah.
The problem that I have is but conscientiously, I agree. And I'm always just like, I will do that. Amazon are trash, blah, blah, blah. But also, Prime's really good. And I feel horrible. It's like this massive conflict of I shouldn't be a scab, but also...
This is the problem with just capitalism as a system, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, Star Trek Picard is really good. It's like, don't take away my Picard. Just pay your workers. That's what Picard would want. Probably.
Join a union.
Right. We've got one more question, and this is for Kirstie and Kath, I think. This one is man sentenced to death over Zoom appeals on the basis that low internet speeds impeded his defense.
Okay, so you started it, and I was like, this is true. There was definitely a man sentenced to death over Zoom. I remember reading that story, but I didn't read enough of it to know if that was his defense. I just read the headline and I was like, yeah, of course that happened, and carried on with my day.
So the defence is the bandwidth hampered his defence.
Yeah.
Wait, is it speed or bandwidth? Because some people get mixed up.
Did I not get it right there, Ed? I really tried.
I don't know. I've not got the headline.
I don't know either.
So
about to find out in the comments. Should I don't know.
I mean, I feel like if I'd been sentenced to death, I would come up with any appeal I could and be like, no, you would have agreed with me if my shitty internet hadn't cut out. I couldn't give you my proper argument. Like, I'd just do anything to try and buy time. Like, I'd make up anything as an appeal. Like, you could give literally any reason and I'll be like, well, it's worth a shot. He may as well have tried it.
I feel like, if you... Sorry, is it sentenced to death?
Yeah.
So that's a different country.
And so it's a country that still has the death penalty and is actively using it.
So somewhere in America.
Are those
perhaps?
countries likely to have good broadband speed?
It'd be somewhere rural in America, perhaps.
Could be. What are you leaning particularly towards, true or false?
Oh, yeah, I reckon it's probably true. There'd always be someone.
Yeah, I reckon it could be true because, like, this is again a thing where ultimately I have to decide how sneaky Jonny is. Because,
the real quiz.
I did read something about someone being sentenced to death over Zoom, but like whether or not the story progressed the way Jonny describes it, or if this is one of the things where they've switched out, is a whole other cake. But yeah, if you're leaning towards true, I'm happy
true.
to lean with you.
Yeah, let's true it.
Are you going with true?
I think we're going with true.
You are incorrect. It is false.
Boo.
Yeah, Kirstie was right in this situation. Yeah, the core of the story is true. He did appeal over it, but there's no. I don't think that was his defense. Yeah, and I realise this is a very, very morbid one to end around on, and I wish I'd put this earlier now because I've got no punchline for
I
it.
like the idea that he's going to see this and be like, "Fuck, I should have thought of that."
It's a solid defense. That's the thing. Because I was just like, that could be true. Because honestly, like, imagine being sentenced to death, but you're on Virgin Media, so you can build a defense. That's like,
really his job, though.
To be honest,
his lawyer should have thought of that. His lawyer should have thought of that.
To be honest, right? If I was, I assume he's like imprisoned somewhere. He has limited enough freedom, and then he has to deal. Penalty. And then he has to deal with Virgin Media on top of it. Just fucking take the death penalty. You're better off. I'm sorry, Jonny. Were you taking a drink when I said that? No. I just saw you like jerk forward.
You should be head of Virgin Media's advertising. Virgin Media, you'd be better off dead.
This is comedy and satire.
I'm just waiting for Virgin Media to cut us all off like they did in the last live stream.
They did.
And we weren't even slagging him off then.
We weren't. They were preemptively cutting us off.
I was when the cameras were turned off. Sorry, my bad.
Right. At the end of that round, Tom and Ed have 4 points, while Kurt and Kath have 8.
Yay!
8. Kath is very excited about this. Right, next round is...
The Comstat is not full of points.
Comgate has more points than
Comgate, however.
I regret letting you pick team names.
Hope you're ready for 12 of these now.
Right, next round is called Biggest Dickhead of the Month. This is a more chat type round where each of the guests are going to tell us about who they think deserves the title of Biggest Dickhead of the Month. As a general rule, the kind of obvious ones like Boris Johnson and like Dominic Cummings are kind of ruled out, but just kind of more kind of personal encounters of who they believe should be the biggest dickhead of the month. So as Ed and Tom are last, one of them can go. I've been saying that every round so far. I'm not rubbing it in, I promise. Right, Tom, you can go first. Who is your nomination for biggest dickhead of the month?
Other bakers.
Who? Sorry.
Other people who are also coping with the stress of lockdown by baking, because people are like, right, so I like making bread, and I like my flour like Donald Trump's voting demographic, strong white. and people are I don't know, are just panic buying all the flour, and it means that I don't get to make bread, and I've got to settle for Warburton's 50/50, which tastes like ass, and not the good kind of tasting like ass, the bad kind of tasting like ass. and I just want to make bread because it's the only thing that gives me joy now, and I can't. And also, they're not buying up yeast. I've had to start up a sourdough culture like my middle class boomer parents, and it's like they brought me a kilner jar to started in because I am deceptively middle class. But now just other bakers for just, not being able to get their own fucking hobbies.
Wonderful. Okay, Ed, let's go team by team. So Kirstie, you go next.
So I don't think you're going to believe that this is legitimately the one I had planned, but my dickhead of the month is Virgin Media. Because I've been arguing with them all fucking week for various reasons, because we were with them in my last flat.
Yeah.
As you know, because they fucked up on our first live stream, and then we found out that my housemate's employer, their like benefits system for their staff means we can get a Virgin Media contract at a discount, and it is supposedly the amount of broadband that we need at a cheaper price than anywhere else is providing it. So we went with them again, but we had to shut down the account in my name and start up a new account in his name. So I called them to cancel it. And I started the conversation by saying, we've already considered just getting a new contract with you and taking the box with us. We've decided we definitely don't want to do that. Please just cancel the account. And it took 45 minutes of them trying to sell me shit for me to finally get off the phone. And then they told me there would be a disconnection fee of £25. And I said, but what if I just stop paying my bills? Won't you disconnect it for free? And they said, yes. So I said, what's the disconnection fee for? And he said, because you haven't given us 30 days notice that you're leaving. Bear in mind, at that point, we'd gone past our contract and we're just rolling on, right? Which meant our bill had doubled, right? And they still wanted to charge us £25. And I was like, so I've called you to give you the courtesy of informing you that we don't need your service anymore. And you're charging us £25 and wasting an hour of my time when if I'd just not bothered to tell you, you would have disconnected me for free. And then now that we're in our new place and we set up our new Virgin Media contract with our new box, the Wi-Fi doesn't reach the fucking living room, which is why I'm sitting in my bed instead of at my desk right now. And it's not like a big flat, but they've still managed to provide shit enough broadband that it does not cover the entire flat. So, Virgin Media are just generally terrible and I hate them. Now I'm stuck with them for another year. So that's why they're my dickhead of the month.
Wonderful. That's a very convincing argument.
Thank you.
Yep,
and also all of the other reasons that have come up until this point in the live stream completely separately from what I had prepared.
Ed, were you also going to say Virgin Media?
No, it just makes me wish that maybe recently if we'd have had the chance to maybe have it all nationalised. But of course we've not had that, not for a long time. My dickhead of the month, right, deciduous trees. Bastards, right? So we've got in our kind of front garden, facing the roads, what a front garden is. We've got a deciduous tree, and right now it's like got yellow flowers on it. It looks beautiful for like 2 months of the year, and the rest of the time it looks dead. Like not a leaf, just sticks. Not helped by the like 45-degree angle it's grown at. So it just looks awful for most of the year. Whereas like evergreens, they're putting in the hard work every month of the year. They work through Christmas, right? Unlike that lazy wanker, right? But that said, it drops its leaves in autumn and spreads the wealth. And actually, actually, deciduous trees are good. It's the evergreens that hoard the leaves. They're the dickhead of the month. I've turned myself round. Evergreen trees.
Have you got anything more to say on that? Oh, are you done?
Well, I can go through other flora if you want.
It's entirely up to you.
Herbs with their stems that aren't it's...
Right,
you were right to change to evergreen, because evergreen trees in terms of the flora and fauna scene are very fauna or animals. I just like saying flora and fauna. Are very much like they're very much like the privileged flora class. Like they've had everything. They've had everything handed to them. Like they're always green. It's just a complete luck of circumstance, and people favour them.
I disagree. They work hard all year round. They deserve that tribute by people.
They just stand there. Right,
so algal blooms, right?
I've got one too.
Right, yeah, Kath, very good point. Kath, do you want to give your dickhead of the month, and then we can have a bit of time to discuss civilly which one's the biggest dickhead? Kath, off you go.
Okay, so my one of the month, I don't know if everyone's seen that picture of the priest baptizing a child with a water pistol.
I have not.
It's that
but if I had, I definitely would have used that in the first round.
He's wearing a mask.
I'm so sorry.
Pistol in the holy water across at the baby, with the parents on either side. The baby's in this christening gown.
I have it.
And I just think it's amazing. I'm like, this priest has been well behaved for so long, and finally they're getting their moment to be just a little bit, like good but evil at the same time. He must have the biggest smile behind that mask. He must be like super enjoying it, going, this is what I've been waiting 40 years of clergy time for, this moment. Pow, pow. He's never going back. That's going to be how baptizing's done from now on.
Fucking wonderful. This is all new to me. I don't know why I haven't seen this. That sounds...
I genuinely feel so guilty, because I have that photo and I sent it to my brother and sister, and they just ignored me in favour of talking about the puppy that my sister's buying. And I just feel like this is a thing that I genuinely should have sent you. I'm very sorry. I feel like a very bad friend right now.
I'd just like to draw attention. Riley has made the very good point that evergreens provide homes for many animals. So, Ed, what is your defence to that?
Which one did I go for in the end? That was the
evergreens.
Right.
You can change back to deciduous if you want.
Well, dead trees provide homes for insects. Are you saying we should kill all of the trees?
Yeah, there's one priest. Tom has the picture.
There were more of them. I only saw one of them. I thought there was just the one, but there were loads of them.
No, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Like becoming a priest.
Yeah. But...
What, just to spray babies with a water pistol? You can do that in your spare time, Ed.
I mean, it's definitely a part of them enjoying that.
Oh, God.
Well, was he the Pope on the balcony with a super soaker, just spraying it over?
I would baptize people in the same way that they put pig's blood on Carrie in the film Carrie. So I'd bring them to the altar. They'd have a really big old special time, and then holy water everywhere, and then they cry, and then the church burns down because of their telekinetic powers.
Just to go slightly off topic, Riley has responded to Ed's comment and said, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Death to trees." So I'm glad you come to some sort of agreement. Commenters, if anyone watching has any other strong opinions on any of the Dickhead nominations, please feel free to comment them, and we will. I'll take that into account when I'm doing my judging. Let's go back to Tom for a second. So, Tom, yours was other bakers. So, are you someone who bakes?
I am someone who bakes, and I'm very entitled because I'm because I don't know. I'm a white man. It's in my blood, but it's. I don't know. It's just like it feels like as a way of coping with lockdown, a lot of other people start baking, and that's great because baking is the best, and I recommend you all do it. Just 1.5 kilograms of strong white flour is enough. You need 500 per loaf if you're just doing a pure white loaf. You've got 3 loaves out of that, and you know just stop panic buying flour. Basically, you don't need 7 kilos. I'm not American. You don't need 7 kilograms of flour. Just leave some for Thom Bee over here, so he can make some bread and
some flour for Thom Bee. Yes.
Yeah, so he can update his vegan baking Instagram account because, of course, I've got one of those. It's called Butterfree Biscuit Base, and it's the best joke I've ever written in my fucking life.
We've got another comment from Riley saying for Kirstie to extend Virgin Media to just Virgin in general, which I feel like is a fair comment. They are notoriously terrible.
Yeah, true. To be fair, like I thought about being like on top of the whole like not being able to pay workers, but somehow being able to send a rocket into space. My Wi-Fi is also shit.
But rockets are expensive. They've got to make the cut somewhere.
I feel like I went on long enough that I didn't have time to mention the rockets and the furloughing and all those things.
Valid.
But no, I do agree, Riley. You are right.
Yep.
All of Virgin in general can get in the sea.
Absolutely. Yeah, I fully agree.
And if our earlier comments didn't put Richard Branson off as a viewer, we've certainly done it now.
Well, we have gone down from 30 to 25 since I last checked.
That was
maybe he was one of them.
Richard Branson on his phone and tablet and laptop being like, "Fuck this."
May I add to mine? Scarlett has made the point that we're not running out of flour, running out of the bags to put them in, so blame capitalism. And quite frankly, yes, capitalism is the dickhead of the month and the year.
But capitalism is the dickhead of every month.
I'm changing mine. Dickhead of the month is capitalism. Fight me.
I feel like we should win by default because we didn't change our minds halfway through our own arguments.
I don't think that's how debating works. It's you've got to be open to change.
But in this debate, you were supposed to make an argument as to why like your person was the biggest dickhead, and in making your arguments, you didn't even convince yourself.
You know what? We found the main culprit because this is a democracy, Kirstie. But if you would rather have a totalitarian debate where we're set in what we're doing and can't change our mind, fine. That can be the new ethos of Blizzard, I guess.
I feel like you've just kind of turned our basic quiz show format, which is the same for many of these types of shows, into something very tyrannical, like you ever had a say in how many points you were going to get.
Right, at the end of that, I think I am going to be giving Kirstie the 3 points, and for the runner-up, I mean, I'm torn between Tom and Ed, and they're on the same team, so I'm just going to say one of you got the points for that. So
we'll assume it's me, so that we're not going to spread the word that Jonny Collins supports capitalism.
I mean, I don't. To be honest, I mean, I don't start a sentence about capitalism with "to be honest." Capitalism is awful, but I feel like that falls under the category of just general all-round dick. I mean, I suppose so does Virgin, but it feels like a bit of an easy one. I'm going more for your just general bitterness of other people baking because it amused me. I was tempted to go for
I'm just saying.
he changed his mind halfway through about what kind of trees he doesn't like. So I feel like I have to go with Tom.
I'm just saying, it's like if you don't
link themselves up, they're pretty bad too. What else? Heather, no. All types of grass.
Right. Minus a point for Ed and Tom's team. No, you can keep your point. It's fine. You're still way behind regardless. Right, at the end of that round.
Now I feel bad for laughing.
At the end of that round, Tom and Ed have 5 points.
It just means we've not been the most factual.
I feel like if the positions were reversed, like you would be ripping me apart more, so I don't actually feel that bad.
Right. Yeah, as I say, at the end of that round, Tom and Ed are on 5 points. Sorry, team hashtag Cumsack are on 5 points, and team hashtag Cumgate are on 11. We're gonna have another break not break where we're still going to be chatting shit, but nothing's going to happen in terms of the show. So yeah, if you want to go to the loo or do whatever it is you want to do in that time, we'll be back at like say 9:30 for the last 2 rounds. Before you go though, the next round, the great debate, this is a round where I may need commentary input. So essentially the way it's going to work is all of our contestants are going to be taking on the role of a different character and archetype, and we're going to be recreating question time, and the discussion is about the what's it called, NHS surcharge. So if you have during the debate, please be thinking of other questions you would like to answer any of the contestants, and we'll have some time at the end of that round to have some of your questions as well. But yeah, so be back in like 7 minutes, and I'm still going to be here humming a tune. We actually have a Blizzard theme tune. We could just do that. That would be slightly better.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Or we could do the thing we said we were going to do and like have a fun conversation.
We could play Headstrong by Trapped.
No, we cannot.
Is there a petition saying we can't?
Right.
No, but I feel like it would get copyright strikes. Right. Hi, Sam.
Fuck, marry, kill. Mr. Blobby. Richard Branson, Tim Martin. Go.
Oh, okay, right. Hang on, wait. Who is it? Tim Martin, Richard Branson, and
Mr. Blobby.
I think Mr. Blobby would be a fun fuck. Like, but I don't want to marry any of the others.
Can you? Which one is richer out of Richard Branson and Tim Martin, and also which one is older / closer to death?
Branson on both counts.
If I marry and then kill separately, do I get disqualified?
Oh, so you think you're an old Black Widow?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, if you marry, it's got to be till death do you part, but death is natural.
Oh.
Can I just say, Bridget has commented, Jonny humming for Christmas #1. And
oh my
maybe
god! Please start a new solo act called Jonny Humming.
Jonny Humming. Oh god. That definitely sounds like a racist white blues guitarist.
I don't mean to distract from the brilliant tangent you're all going off on, but I love that we didn't need to have any discussion to unanimously agree that Mr. Blobby was the most fuckable one out of those three men.
We're fucking Mr. Blobby.
Obviously.
I think mine is fuck.
Oh yeah, I suppose if you marry Richard Branson, then you can get some of that money and then you can redistribute it.
And you might get to go to space.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because he's got more money.
Martin, yeah.
I think he might be older. Like, I'd happily kill either of them. Like, if I happened to be like out on my bike and one of them stepped in front of me, I would accelerate, regardless. But if I had to pick one or the other, that's still difficult.
I think I would quite happily kill Tim Martin, very simply because I think I prefer COVID-19 to Wetherspoons. Like, say what you want about it, but shutting down spoons is the best thing COVID-19's done.
Like, but if you were to marry Tim Martin, you would then get a share of Weatherspoons, assuming you didn't sign a prenup.
They're not that difficult to get, from what I remember, to be honest.
But you'd get like half of Tim Martin's shares of Weatherspoons.
Ah, that's
true. And you could do some stuff. You could improve Weatherspoons. You could make spoons somewhere people actually want to be. But you can have the same argument for like making all of Virgin something that isn't just a blight on humanity.
I know what you mean though, because like you could be like George Lucas's wife with the original trilogy. It's like because you know he wanted to make C-3PO Stevie and racist, and she was just like, let's make him gay. See what that goes. No, I'm sticking with my answer. Fuck Mr. Blobby. Kill Tim Martin. Marry Richard Branson for that dollar and space.
I think I would agree with that. Not like because like you could like Richard Branson just has more resources that if I had access to half of it, I could do better with than he currently is. But if I was going with Tim Martin as the marry, it would be the same reason I'm marrying Richard Branson. And if I was killing Richard Branson, it's for the same reason I'm killing Tim Martin. Effectively.
My friend has just texted me to say that they've had to stop watching the stream because they can't take any more of the spoon slander. How dare we?
Who said that?
They may go to spoons and get coronavirus because that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry, they're opening too soon and making a lot of bad decisions, and like they don't even put their fucking frozen cheesy garlic bread in the microwave for long enough that it's not still cold. Like, you know those spoons that have bookshelves along the sides? I once took a book off of there and I opened it and it had mouldy chips shoved between the pages.
Oh.
Like, do you really need that pub reopening? Because I don't.
I always worry that Brewdog is trying to become the new spoons. Because they're already.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, they're already adopting practices. It's like they've been basically suing smaller breweries for having Brewdog-esque names, and I mean,
they have.
I still
tried to trademark the word punk, which is the opposite of punk.
Opposite of punk. Yeah. There was. I mean, it's not really something to get angry about, it's just stupid, but they released a burger which was 50% vegan burger and 50% beef.
What's the point?
It was apparently to appeal to their flexitarian audiences. This is in the statement. I've not heard the word flexitarian since I was at fucking uni. But it's, so...
Fucking bollocks.
It's like, you know, buy this burger if you only want to save half the planet. I don't know.
Like, well, isn't that
because it means vegans can't eat it, and meat eaters probably won't want to eat it because they'll be like, oh, it's got vegan in it, it'll turn me gay or something like that.
Like, but didn't is it Burger King vegan burger that's like just it's made of plants, but it's on the same grills as the meat ones,
and comes with egg mayo.
It's still targeted at meat eaters. It's like, oh, if you're trying to be healthier and eat more vegan food, but you're still going to Burger King and you're still getting the meat juices on it.
Yeah.
And it's very poor lip service that ends up just confusing. But then Burger King doesn't necessarily market itself as like a morally superior brand.
I mean, I will obviously argue if you want to eat vegan, then find your local place. I will do a fucking blog post of all the best places to eat vegan in major cities because I've got a list already. It's dead easy to make for me. That's just like with my own little rating system.
Right. I think we're ready to continue in a sec. Right now.
I think we've got Kath back.
Yeah, Kath is.
We don't need Kath. It's fine. Mr. Blobby's there. No, genuinely, I saw Mr. Blobby's face and I didn't register that there wasn't anyone in that frame. I was just like, no, Mr. Blobby's part of this stream. Okay, we'll wait for Kath.
Her team's way ahead anyway, so you know.
Right.
The playing field.
Can I ask all of you guys, as in guest, Kirstie, Tom, Ed, if you have got the YouTube stream open, can you minimize it because we're going to flash up your characters for the next round. Whenever Sam is ready, we can do that before Kath is back. I think. Actually, no. I'll wait for Kath to come back, so she doesn't walk in halfway through. But yeah, so in a minute, I'm going to give you the signal to do that.
And also
minimize it. Sam's already done it, I think.
To respond to Riley Gibson's comment, my favourite thing to bake is a cinnamon Chelsea bun which is spiraled in with a spiced pear jam.
Oh, are you there, Tom?
No, yeah, I'm here. No, just like bacon. Bacon, not bacon.
That's all right.
Bacon strap.
Yeah, so we'll wait for Kath to get back, then I'll give the signal.
Hey! To be honest, we could have just asked Mr. Blobby. If anything, it's quite rude that we're talking about fucking him and not even acknowledging him.
Don't I get a say in this? Okay.
Again, we've had this conversation about.
Okay, Mr. Blobby, fuck, marry, kill, Kirstie, Ed, and Tom.
Blobby!
Kath is back. Right.
Oh no, you wouldn't want to fuck Mr. Blobby. What if Blobby describes the consistency of his jism?
I mean, that's the only way I can come. Right. Okay, Kath, I was just saying to the others, Sam's going to flash up everyone's roles for the next round. I am the cutest. Thank you, Sam. You're right. So if you've got the YouTube stream open, if you could minimize it just for like the next few seconds, I'll let you know when it's safe to look again. Because part of this round involves them trying to work out what roles everyone else is playing. So if you can minimize that now, and if Sam, you can flash up the roles again. Meantime, let me just have a look at some of these comments. Victoria Bliss said, I missed Jonny asking us if we enjoyed our loo visit after a break. Did you enjoy your loo visits? Let us know in the comments. Stuart said, Stuart says, I have never... Oh, here are the characters for any of the audience members who want to know. So I'm going to leave them up for like another 5 seconds. And then... Yeah. Make sure everyone can look at them. Okay, right, take them off now. Sam, don't open your YouTube again yet. I'll tell you when it's safe to do so. Other comments we've had, Stuart has said he's never heard the word flexitarian. It sounds like someone who eats yoga instructors. And Victoria Bliss is very keen on the idea of a Blizzard bake-off. Tom and Kirstie, that sounds like your kind of thing. If you want to do that, I'm very happy.
It's definitely a thing we've discussed.
Yep.
But like most of our
right, you can open your YouTube streams now if you
like it's come up kind of in the middle of the night and not been followed through on. But I believe we both talked about doing cakes for the Blizzard birthday show, which subsequently did not happen because there was not an in-person birthday show where we could share cake. Sadly.
Blizzard birthday 2, Electric Boogaloo. We'll do it
then. Wonderful. Right, welcome back. This is our next round is called The Great Debate. So all of our guests have been given a role. First of all, to check, do you all know what your role is, or do I need to tell you again?
I remember my role.
Kirstie, remember?
Like, I was very confident of it until you asked, and then I was like, I don't have a fucking clue. Even though I do know.
Tom, Ed, Kath, do you know what yours are? Do you need me to send? You're good. Ed, Kath, do you need me to send them again?
No, I know what it is. Yeah.
Ed knows what it is. Kath, are you there? Oh, hello. Fantastic. Okay, yep. So this round we are going to be debating whether. I mean, Boris has already done a U-turn on it, so it's kind of an pointless debate now. But we're going to be debating the NHS surcharge for migrant health workers. Essentially, if you don't know, migrants to this country essentially currently have to pay a surcharge to use the NHS, so they have to pay more on top of the other taxes and stuff that they're paying. And there were calls for Boris to eliminate these for migrant workers who literally work in the NHS, and he was reluctant to do so, but he has done now anyway. So this is what we're going to be debating. And just a reminder, everyone is playing characters in this. They are not necessarily their own views. So
Please do not take clips of us saying what we're going to say.
Right, so without further ado, let's begin. So I'm going to start off with Tom. This first question is for you. Do you think migrant health workers should have to pay the NHS surcharge?
I believe that Indigenous health workers should have to pay the surcharge. I believe that.
When you say Indigenous,
I just googled the opposite of migrant. Okay, I don't know if I'm using the word wrong.
Oh, in the meantime, audience, if you think of any questions you want to answer on this, ask on this topic for any of the panelists, please feel free to put them in, and I'll try and get to them at the end of the round. So Tom, you think just everyone should have to pay for a service which is meant to be funded by tax?
Well, I believe that they should, but we should rebrand it so it's not a surcharge, it's not a payment, it is in fact a charitable donation. Similar to your taxes, but instead for helping the great charity, which is the NHS, and don't forget, stay at home, save the virus, underfund the NHS.
Right, I see. Kirstie, have you got anything?
The virus? Wait, hold on.
Kirstie, have you got anything to add on that?
I mean, I think a surcharge just isn't going far enough. I think they should pay the surcharge, and everyone else should pay the surcharge. Everyone should pay for all of their healthcare. Everyone knows healthcare is run better when you're paying for it.
That is true. That is true.
It's better off being run as a business. Name one sector that did not benefit from being run as a business rather than something that the government does. The government doesn't try. The government doesn't have resources. Let the people who know about business run things the way you would run a business. Maybe it should just be a business that you pay for. That really is just the best way to make sure that everyone's getting the healthcare that is appropriate to their status.
You okay there, Tom? You sound like you're going to say something.
Yeah, no, I mean, it broke me. No, I completely agree. I mean, obviously that we should protect our NHS as a very valuable commodity, but like all valuable commodities, it is ripe for privatization opportunities. And I can't personally name a single bad private business, and will be used.
We definitely haven't done that several times in this stream.
No, we haven't. I can't think of one. And when we do privatize the NHS, I will be following the great business leaders such as Elon Musk and Richard Branson.
Wonderful. Kath, do you have any input on this topic?
Just 2 meters back, 2 meters. Well, actually, I do have some thoughts. Sorry, I'm very, very busy right now. What was the question again? What was the question? Was it?
Do you think that migrant NHS workers should have to pay the surcharge for using NHS services?
Oh, Philip, just push them over there. Well, as an Australian migrant worker, I definitely I do not think people like good Filipino, they should be paying for the NHS. No, that's a stupid idea made up by some. Hang on, I've just there's beeping. I've got to go. Look, I'll be right back. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, okay. These are back on the stream. Everyone, stop looking at the screen. Ed, have you got any views on this topic?
Right. Come with me for a moment. Ooh, Ripley effect. Do the Ripley effect. Ripley effect. What do you see to your left and to your right, Jonny? That's right. Trafford General Hospital, 1948. These people coming in these doors for the first time without having to worry, without paying any costs for their healthcare at all. What do you think they think, Jonny? Don't ask them because they can't hear you. But what do you think? Ripley effect.
I mean, I think this should be directed.
effect.
I think this be directed more towards Tom. I am simply the chair of this debate. Tom, do you have any rebuttals to Ed's remarks there?
Nope.
Convincing argument. Kirstie, how about yourself?
Well, I think clearly these people want the freedom of choice in terms of how their healthcare is provided. And the best way to do that is to give them the option of paying for what they want and only what they want, and not wasting their hard-earned money, giving it to the government for them to make those decisions. Right? What you want is... Shut up, Tom. What you want is to be able to spend your money on what you want and not waste your money. If you don't have the sniffles, you don't need to pay for someone else's sniffles. But when you do, you can. That's clearly what people need.
So do you want the sniffles over here? I'll give you this mask. You can have the sniffles.
No, but if you have the sniffles, you can pay my company to get rid of them for you, rather than continuing to give money to someone who's not helping.
Who are these idiots? Who are these idiots in this interview? I'm very busy. Why are they here? Well, of course it should be publicly funded.
These idiots are your class superiors, and you do good to show some respect.
Careful calling me an idiot, Kath. Two more will follow.
Right, so Ed, what alternatives are there to funding the NHS, apart from the current system? Like, what impact do you think that would have?
Why, Jonny? Let me show you. Come with me into the night. What do you see? No ripple effect needed. We're not going back in time.
I see.
Literally
darkness.
any modern hospital I've taken you to. Now,
okay,
you can see the ways, the myriad ways in which they've tried to change the way they pay for the NHS. This hospital, for example, uses PFI schemes. Now, these things are really clever because instead of paying money, you pay more money over more years. It's very clever. It's very clever.
It is very clever. Kath, what would your ideal healthcare system look like?
Really well funded with proper PPE for all, particularly frontline workers. Frontline workers. When I've got time after this, I'm going to picket. I'm going to picket everyone in a socially distanced way. You wait.
Tom, how do you feel about the fact that Kath wishes to picket in protest of the way you are currently running things?
I say letter.
That entirely gives away your character.
I say letter. It's not like too many of them can gather at the moment.
You better not be admitted to my hospital room.
Kirstie, are you going to be taking part in these pickets?
I mean, only if these pickets are to campaign for a better way of doing healthcare. And by a better way, I mean a way in which healthy competition between businesses allows the market to create a better way of doing healthcare than having just one option with no say over how well it does. Like, clearly, the best way to do this is not the way we're doing it. And the fact that it's anyone would think that, you know, fundamental human rights such as healthcare shouldn't be exploited for profit. Well, that's just ridiculous. Like, of course, everything should.
What other fundamental rights do you think should be exploited for profit?
I mean, just look at the very robust and healthy landlord community that's doing very well right now. Those people are my good friends. Virgin Media is one of my favourite people ever. Just all the utilities generally will only ever get better if we allow private businesses to be a middleman between people and their necessities.
I see. So, Tom, do you think? Okay, forget the NHS for the minute. Do you think it is?
No, I have.
No. If you're forgetting the NHS, then I can get the one that was before me. We can remember it.
Tom. So, do you think? What other services do you think that migrant workers should be paying surcharges on?
Air travel, obviously. Other services, migrant workers. I think they should just pay for everything because they've come here and they should contribute to society in a meaningful way that isn't just being on nurses.
And Ed, I don't know if you have something that you want to say to round off this debate.
All of you, come with me. Come with me. This is the hospital of the future. All diseases have been cured. But is it the National Health Service? There's only one way to make sure it is. Voting for the right parties. That's not a joke. It's just the case, isn't it?
I like that guy. He was good. Can we have more of him?
I'm obviously keen to try and reduce the costs of the NHS by reducing spending on the NHS. But we had a series of systems in play that will affect this. For example, in COVID-19, we have found out that people really rally behind old men walking for money. So why not expand that? There's lots of old people. They're not doing anything. We're going to hook them up to some treadmills and they're going to power our hospitals.
Actually, I've got one final thing to say. Kirstie, as you can see, this is your future grave.
It is the biggest grave out of all of the graves because I can afford it.
And there are fuck all mourners there.
And this may be a grave, but the grave error would be not privatising the NHS.
There's none for you either, Tom.
I think you'll find my 19 children will be in attendance.
And the grave, you'll notice the graves, the dates for your death are far earlier because you privatised the NHS, so you didn't get good enough health care.
Listen to him.
Well, actually, I mean,
private health.
No. My date of death will be much, much later. All the plebs will be much earlier, but I can afford the best healthcare going, so I will get it.
Please take this mask. Just take it. Just breathe deep.
Private healthcare works. I have not once heard a horror story from the American healthcare system. Not once. You know what? Ambulances are expensive. They should cost money. But yeah, save our NHS.
Right, we're going to round up in just a minute. If there's any, we've not had any comment or questions so far, so you've got a couple more minutes if you want to add any more to any of the contestants or debatees. I don't know what you call them. These pricks. If you've got any questions for them in character, we've got a couple more minutes to do that before we round up, and I decide the winner of that round based on I haven't decided yet. Probably whoever's got the nicest background. So yeah, final thoughts from everyone. Kirstie, do you want to go first?
I mean, I feel like I've quite clearly made my point. It benefits everyone to make sure that people get the services they can pay for. Then the market allows the services to be better. The competition makes everyone happier, and it makes people work harder. And ultimately, I feel like that's what we should be striving for as a society, making sure that money is at the core of every decision we make.
Beautifully put, Ed. Final thoughts?
What a joyous day! It's the Tory government, and they bought the biggest parky for
the NHS. Tom, any response to that?
I believe that we should save our NHS. I've recently been admitted into hospital with COVID-19, and I even pretended that my nurses were people. But in order to do that, to get the best service, we must pay for it, and there are sacrifices that we'll have to make. But with our new point-based immigration system, I will confirm that our skilled workers will be the best value for money.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Kath, to finish us off.
Yes, everyone's working hard, and
can I just say, it looks like Mr. Bobby's flipping a bird behind you.
I think she's busy.
No, that's valid. We have a question from Samantha who says, "What does Donkey Kong say?"
I've been playing Mario Party all fucking day. Why don't I know this?
I went to ask him, but he just threw a load of barrels at me.
Tom, what does Donkey Kong say?
That this question is really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Right, wonderful. Thank you for your work. That was fantastic. I'd say give them a round of applause, but we will not hear it. So just
video yourself clapping for us and then tweet us.
In fact, what you can do to show us support, we don't actually want your PayPal or Patreon subscriptions anymore. What you need to do instead is on a Tuesday, 8 p.m., go outside and clap for Blizzard.
Yeah.
No, last Monday of every month.
Just not during
this live stream, so you're not listening to it. Wonderful. I think you may all of your roles did flash up on the screen during that, so I don't know if any of you saw them. But we're just going to pretend you didn't. So, do we know who Kirstie was playing?
Playing Rand.
Say again.
The spirit of capitalism.
I'm going to give you that. Yeah, it is. The CEO of a private healthcare company. So essentially, the spirit of capitalism. I'm going to give you a point for that.
Oh, I thought Kirstie, you were a big farmer.
I mean, that is also.
Oh, Big Pharma is such a good prison name.
Right.
What was on the topic of what my thing was, Jonny? I can't believe you put those words in my mouth. Like, I
am really impressed with how.
Like, I need a shower.
No, I am so sorry, but not nearly as sorry as I am for Tom. Do we know who Tom was? This is the most obvious.
Boris.
Tom was
90
Boris,
children.
Yeah. I basically gave that away quite early on in the show.
I was just very happy that I managed to convey my best Boris without having to do the voice, which I absolutely can't do.
I was just waiting for you to be.
It was a good one. Right, Kath, who do you think Kath was?
A frontline nurse.
Yeah.
Or frontline worker, certainly. But for some reason, I've got nurse in my head.
Yeah, no, nurses. The actual character was Australian nurse. Just because, I mean, this was possibly tokenism at this point, but just because I was like, she is the only migrant of all of us, so it makes the most sense for her to play the nurse in this particular scenario. So yeah, Tom, you get a point for that as well. And who do we think Ed was?
Points.
Ghost of healthcare. Past, future, and present.
Yes.
The guy who set up the NHS.
Fuck yeah!
Yep, spot on. Point for Kirstie there. Yeah, that was very thoroughly enjoyed Ed's performance of that. I'm gonna give bonus points to. I kind of want to give bonus points to everyone. You all did that really well, but that defeats the purpose of bonus points. And we are definitely not socialists, so we're not giving you all things. I'm gonna give Ed the 3 points for that. And I think I'm gonna give Kirstie the runner-up point in that round because she just did. Partly as an apology for just how we had to perform.
You gave me something that is just so polar opposite to my general nature.
Yeah. Marshmallow Fairy says Kirstie deserves the point for having to pretend to support Virgin, and I very much agree with that.
Thank
so yeah, I'm gonna give Kirstie the runner-up in that. But yeah, you all did fantastically.
I would like to apologise to anyone who may have overheard me whispering, "I love you, thank you so much" to Kat, who just brought me a coffee.
That's fine. I didn't hear it. So at the end of that round, it is getting close. Tom and Ed are on 10 points, whilst Kurt and Kath are on 13 points.
We can do this.
We have.
This is the closest it has been all game, apart from we were like both on 0.
Since the beginning of the game. Right. Our last round is called that game that's in most of these shows of this genre. Essentially, I'm going to be giving the team scenarios, and they're going to come in with their suggestions. You've seen this if you've watched any panel show ever. So, but we're not going to use the name that's in other panel shows because I think that's the only thing that they actually copyright. So we will find out if we get in trouble for doing this, but I don't think we will. So yeah, this is a free-for-all round. And points go to whoever I like the most, as is with all rounds. So the first topic is things Piers Morgan would not say on Good Morning Britain.
Hello and welcome to Good Morning Britain. You're the Britain and I'm the Good Morning.
Good evening. Good evening.
Can you repeat that, Kath? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I just said good evening.
Good morning, Vietnam.
He wouldn't say, spare me your hypocritical claps for the NHS, Boris Johnson. You just shamefully slapped the heroes who saved your life in the face. No, wait, hang on. No, that's exactly what you did say.
Oh, no, how? Like, how much of a sign is it that it's the end of days that fucking Piers Morgan is kind of speaking sense sometimes now?
I'm a deluded pillock.
Okay, I'm getting a lot of letters from our viewers. No, I'm not a jetty with an arcade on the end. My name just happens to be shared with.
Oh, fucking
Hugs for everyone.
He wouldn't say, they're lying to us again. Ministers and experts literally rewriting the lockdown rules before our eyes just to save the Prime Minister's chief advisor. How can anyone defend this government? Oh, no, wait, he said that as well. Fuck.
Right.
So, more letters from the viewers. No, I'm not cautiously looking over something to see what's there. I just haven't to share my name with the word.
Oh, no, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Right. Next
We
one.
stop sending these in. No, I'm not a group of members of the House of Lords.
Have you got any more, Ed, or can I go to the next one?
No, I think that's all the peers I could think of.
Next one. Unlikely things to hear from Biden's presidential campaign. No, that's a very likely thing to hear, apparently.
Well, we're on course to beat Trump.
Oh no.
Aww.
I'm too sad to play this game anymore.
Oh, he wouldn't say that.
Please
Not
clap.
orange. Sorry?
I said, please clap. It's my favourite thing from Jeb Bush's campaign the other year. Never gonna not be funny.
Not orange is the new black.
Oh, fucking hell.
You might not like me, but I'm literally your only option.
I'm pretty sure that is his campaign.
Not Trump.
Hey, you made the right choice in picking me.
I'll wear PPE.
I'm down with it.
It's amazing how low the bar is, and yet he's still not reaching it.
My first policy will be injecting Trump with disinfectant.
Oh, wow, we've taken Florida.
Any more? Can I go to the next one?
A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Joe Biden.
Right. Social media posts that make you block the poster.
Look at all this flour I just bought, dickhead.
Oh, Boris is only doing his best.
But I just don't think that now, in a time of global crisis where people should be held accountable, is the time to hold the government accountable.
Hello, I'm EDWARD ROWORTH.
Don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon.
5G kills.
Oh, that Richard Branson's doing a great job, isn't he? I love Virgin Media.
Virgin Media. Put in the Virgin in media.
Come watch my first.
Oh, go on.
Don't worry, I was going to go. Come watch my first video.
Oh.
I agree with I agree with Piers Morgan until 2 months ago, in which case I disagree with Piers Morgan.
Right, the last one is. Oh, go on. Wait, was someone?
It's not going to be worth it now. It's
so tough. Do it.
Oh man, it's just like because of your interest in socialism, would you be interested in this double-ended dildo that turns into a transformer from Wish.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously. There's nothing I want more in life. Right, last one is unlikely things to be included in a Brexit trade agreement.
French cheese.
What? Wait, what?
Oh, French cheese.
A shiny Charizard.
Protections for the NHS.
Oh. Why do I put the depressing ones last?
I was just going to say literally anything that benefits the British people.
Theresa May.
What? A hard border down the Irish Sea, Project Fear.
The Channel?
Trading rights for those weird aliens from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Scotland.
Also Wales. And maybe Cornwall.
Gibraltar.
PPE for frontline workers.
Oh.
Right, last couple now. Anyone want to grab some points?
Please don't let's finish on we're not getting PPE for frontline workers.
But I come up with something funnier then.
Oh, another shiny Charizard.
You don't have two shiny Charizards, just a hoarding.
You are the landlords of shiny Charizard.
So more letters from the viewers. I'm not an oblique spheroid fruit. My name is just very similar, but not quite the same.
Unlikely to be included in the trade negotiations. Wood tiles from Settlers of Catan.
Wonderful. Right, I'm going to end around there. Thank you very much.
Yes, we got to end on Catan. This is my stream.
We did. And you've all done incredibly well. I'm giving you both 8 points for that. You were absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the scoring system is a very complex thing that you mere mortals will not understand. But yeah.
It's a funny way of saying made up.
Yep. Yes. Yes, it is. I've never claimed otherwise, apart from when I just did. But yeah, so are you ready for the final scores? We have, I believe Sam is getting these ready, so I'm just trying to stall to make sure that she has enough time to put them up. But the final scores are Tom and Ed have 18 points. And the winners of the first ever Blizzard Comedy Broadcast Avalanche are Kurt and Kath with 21 points.
Oh, so happy.
High five.
High five. Where are we?
I don't know.
I'll do both sides. Where am I? There I am. Sam, make that look good, please.
One of my friends who was watching has just texted me. Not the one who likes spoons, another one.
No, that one left. We know.
Yeah, has said. Oh no, they came back. They came back for the Brewdog slagging.
Okay.
And she would like us to know that they tuned in for 20 minutes, but then their internet crapped out at the exact moment we started slagging off Richard Branson.
They can watch on YouTube because this will save as a video afterwards.
This will, yep. This will be up forever, hopefully.
Forever.
Assuming, yeah.
Your great grandchildren are going to watch this.
Sam's just put no on the stream. I'm not sure what that means.
My children and therefore grandchildren would get my eyesight and my mental health get fucked. It's like
Scarlett says, "Woo, come gate."
Woo, come gate. oh yes, Woo Cumgate. Hashtag Woo Cumgate, guys.
which is the sequel to the Wu-Tang Clan.
Stephen has also said in the chat that he says thanks for an amazing show, and he sent us a PayPal donation. Thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you very much.
Very kind of you.
And that is a perfect
to anyone
way.
else,
yeah,
who's donated, because our beautiful performers aren't going out and doing live gigs anymore. So that's going to be up all week, and it's all going to go to them.
Yes, and this is a perfect time to segue into if you would like to support us, there are various ways you can do so. A portion of our Patreon money will be going into the bucket split along with all of your PayPal donations. So any way you'd like to support us, the links are in the description below, and they will be up. The PayPal will be up for until next Monday. I don't know what time. Should we say midnight on Monday? We'll just do that. Monday evening, and the Patreon is obviously always up, so if you want to subscribe to that, please do. And that will be fantastic. So before we go, I just want to say thank you for watching, and tune in next month when we'll be discussing the current events of the month of June, including Boris blames schools he forced to open for second peak of COVID-19. Dominic Cummings makes essential trip to the moon because he dropped his Morrison's More card, and Joe Biden orders first batch of campaign hats branded "Make America Black Again." Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. Wave.